Welcome to the Inspiration and Innovation Hour special episode, the Moulage Showcase, brought to you by Inspirational by Design. I am your host for today, Nurse Zombie. Shannon is covering in the field. As a disclaimer, we are not being paid, nor are we paying others, to promote products and services used in these segments. This week, our show is dedicated entirely to the clinical simulation space and application of medical moulage. So, what is moulage, you ask? Medical moulage is a technique used to create realistic simulations of medical conditions, injuries, and diseases for training purposes. It involves applying special effects makeup, prosthetics, and other materials to standardized patient actors or mannequins to make them appear as if they have specific medical issues. Today, simulationists will demonstrate their moulage techniques and show what they are doing for scenarios in their centers. You'll get tips, tricks, and access to a PDF for your reference. Wow, that's amazing. Let's check in with Shannon, who is out in the field, and see how close we are to getting started. Shannon, how are things going in the lab?
Thank you, Nurse Zombie. Things are looking good. Our simulationists are busy, and Sim Zombie is preparing the table for demonstration. He's been pretty busy back there. Let's check in with him and see how we're doing. Hey, Sim, how's it going over there?
Hello. Sim Zombie, your assistant, reporting live from the lab. We are all set here and our guests are on their way, ready to demonstrate their amazing skills and talents and show us how to do these simple and easy moulage applications. While we are waiting for our guests, Shannon, would you like me to set up your reel for the audience?
Thanks, Sim. I appreciate that. I was fortunate enough to work with many institutions and healthcare organizations over the years, and my favorite scenarios were always the mass casualty and the trauma scenarios. And honestly, it's only because that's the only way I can actually stomach blood, guts, breaks, and so on. So what I did was I compiled a short video showcasing some of my talents over the years, and even included a few new cost-effective and house item moulage recipes that basically anyone can afford. So let's take a quick commercial break and we'll show the video when we return. Don't scroll back or hit that back button. We've got a great show for you with some incredible talent you won't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Inspirational by Design and the Always in Motion Simulation Project believe that healthcare concerns are a universal challenge and affect us all, as a world, as a community, and on an individual level. We also believe that no two individuals are alike. Every person deserves tailored care and attention. We are dedicated to providing communicative spaces where everyone feels valued, heard, and respected, creating pathways so that everyone is treated with compassion and dignity while receiving exceptional care, and creating opportunities for patients and providers to build meaningful relationships and lasting trust. So let's get started today. Practice specialized cases embedded with cultural competencies, ethics, health equity, and value-based care. The virtual simulation experience is a 75-minute interactive and immersive experience designed to enhance and expand communication and feedback skills. For more information or to book your experience, contact us today. Let Inspirational by Design inspire you.
Lab. Welcome back to the Moulage Showcase special, brought to you by Inspirational by Design. I'm Nurse Zombie, your host for today. Please be advised, due to the realistic recreation of these injuries, graphic images will be displayed. Although fake and for educational purposes, this may not be suitable for those with sensitivity to gore. Now let's get to the footage. Roll the video, Sim.
In order to prepare for my Moulage training, I went into the Moulage application developer, which was created by Ciso Gonzales. I put in the type of injury that I wanted to create and answered the 7 guiding questions so that I could figure out what I needed to do and how I would like to get my burns done. Once I finished entering the parameters for the type of injury I wanted to create, it came up with a wonderful Moulage application plan. This included an overview, a gold standard, and a budget-friendly option for how to get my burns done. It includes an injury impact matrix, and then it goes even further to ask me if I wanted, how I wanted the burns and what type of degree. Again, it goes on to list the steps that I'm going to need, safety considerations, as well as cleanup and removal. It also gives a wonderful option for enhancements as well. So I click on everything that I want. It again generates a beautiful plan for me all the way through to the end. And again, you guys will get this in your book as part of the thank you for watching the showcase and being part of our audience today. If you have any questions, please go check out the Moulage application developer and put in your scenario today. Up next, we're going to go ahead and show you how we get it done. All right, this is going to be our 30-second special effects burn and go. You're going to build up your base with that liquid latex, blood, and charring powder, which is actually used as coffee grounds. And you're going to continue to layer on that base with your Halloween palette. Next, for the blister, we're going to add Vaseline and a strip of Kleenex. Tear the edges and blend. Use that makeup to define that raw skin. And the final result, you have first and second degree burns achieved. So I'm ready for my next injury. I put in my parameters for my next injury and it pops up a beautiful Moulage application plan. Again, it gives me my overview, my application steps, both for a gold standard and my DIY Halloween kit that I told it that I was using. It also gives me a good cleanup plan as well as optional enhancements. I love that it continues to go in and ask you more questions so you can develop the scenario out a lot better. With this one specifically, I wanted to make sure that we did not only have the sprained ankle, but we are also able to do the leg laceration. I put everything in. Again, it goes ahead and adds in that extra realism for that secondary injury. And up next, we're going to show you how we make it. Okay, we're going to get ready to start our fallen hiker look with a sprained ankle, using a mixture of reds and a little purple from your palette to create a wide swollen base color around the joint. To show the deeper bruising and pressure, add those bright blues and dark purples right around the prominent ankle bone. Exaggerate that swelling by keeping the darker colors concentrated in the center of the injury. For a little extra trauma, we're going to add a small cut. So mix your reds and black a little bit and layer it with a little bit of liquid latex and build up that texture to show some initial trauma. We're going to go ahead and finish that off with a little blood. Now for the leg wound, the big leg laceration, we're going to create a pliable, fleshy insides of a cut, starting with a layer of Vaseline and covering it with a piece of Kleenex. This gives you a moldable material and you can build a deep wound around it. Using that liquid latex and makeup around the Vaseline and Kleenex to tear the wound open, create those ragged skin edges and fill to the center with your deepest blood tones. Show off the finished sprained ankle and severe laceration. Our hiker is down for the count. Okay, and to round out our very last injury, we're going to go ahead and pick a motor vehicle accident. So here we go, and it pulls us out this amazing plan. Again, everything that we need, gold standard, professional details, that DIY version for those of us who don't have the money to get the Ben Nye and some of the more expensive materials. You can really easily create what you need based on what we're providing. So it gives you all the parameters, and take a look. We're going to show you how to do this up next. So today we're recreating a Moulage victim for a motor vehicle accident. We begin by applying generalized bruising. So use your DIY palette, a mix of red, orange, and blue to cover the affected area. Add a little purple to make the deeper contusions more prominent. Continue layering the makeup, focusing on the dark blues and purples to give depth to the wounds. Add a little bit of red to the sides to make the contusions look swelling and puffy. That's very critical for this realistic look. Next, we're going going to tackle a major cut using a simple blood mix of Caro syrup and food coloring. We're pushing this along the natural line of the eyebrow, layering until it's tacky and thick, using a little black coloring on the inside of the cut and dab along the edge to create a pronounced deep wound. To show where the skin was torn or dragged, we're going to use some liquid latex with our blood. So right there, again, we're going to continue to utilize that there on the eyebrow. Here we're going to, again, add that little bit of liquid latex, and we're going to apply this in thin layers, letting it partially dry and teasing it to create that ragged, traumatized skin edges, using the black to build up the trauma around the cut itself and finishing off by adding a couple of drag marks across the side of the face. Once you're done with that, finally, there's a telltale sign of a motor vehicle crash, a seatbelt injury. We're going to fill in the neck area where the belt would have caught, creating a concentrated line of bruising and swelling. This line should be distinct and mimic the pulling motion of the belt. And there you have it, a realistic MVC Moulage victim. Thank you so much. We really love clinical simulation around here and doing our part to help support healthcare students on their pathway to excellence. I've had such a wonderful time creating and showcasing my limited but fun talents and skills. Now let's check back in with Sim Zombie and see what's up next for us.
Well, Shannon, we have our special guest Cristena Cook with us here today, and she is going to walk us through a realistic skin tear. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Let's take a look at her demonstration.
Thank you, Sim. I'm Dr. Cristena Cook, a registered nurse with over a decade of experience. For the past 3 years, I've focused on nursing education, primarily teaching pharmacology and facilitating clinical simulations. Today, I'll be demonstrating medical moulage techniques used in simulation training. For my demonstration, I will replicate a basic skin tear on a mannequin. Enjoy.
This is the skin tear type we'll be making today.
The first step is to grab your mixture and lay it where you want it. So you're going to get a small amount of your skin mixture and you want to kind of spread it out. You want to have a thin layer. You can always add more later if you need to, but make it the full length of what you want your skin tear to be. The next step is going to be to take your coffee filter. I like to kind of crinkle it up. That way it lays just a little bit flatter. Then you're going to start tearing it. I like to make sure that I get rid of all of these manufactured edges because it should look something like this. And then the next step you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start folding it kind of like in an accordion pattern. You can always add in more later if you want. And you're just going to start putting it down on top of your skin mixture. Okay, once you have your coffee filter laid down and kind of blended the way that you want it to be, the next step is going to be to take, I usually like one of the smaller cellulose squares, just because it's easier to maneuver, and you're going to take your bruise wheel. You can use acrylic paints. I just find that the bruise wheel produces a little bit of a better look. And you're going to get some of your red, and you're going to start creating kind of your border for where the skin tear is actually going to be. You want to kind of press down as you make this border because you want to create kind of like a little lip or an edge to make it look like you actually have a raised skin tear there. So now that I have all the redness filled in, I'm going to start with coloring in the coffee filter, which is actually going to be the skin that has been pulled back. And I'm going to start coloring all of the coffee filter. A little bit of this paint that's left over, and I like to kind of put it along the edges here. I don't want a lot of it, I just like a little. This is what your skin tear is going to look like.
Wow, Cristena, that was amazing. Maybe you can fix some of my skin tears? Then I'll be good as new. Well, that's all we have time for today. Our crew made a mess of the lab and I need to clean it up. Thanks for stopping by today, folks. Any last words for us, Shannon?
Aw, thanks, Sim, for all your hard work. We would also like to thank Cristena Cook for her contribution to the show today. That was such an amazing experience. And to everyone out there for all you do to make our clinics and labs ready for student immersion and learning every day. You are the reason that their experiences are so essential and not to mention fun. From myself and all of us here at Inspirational by Design, have a spooky, fun Halloween and a simtastic week. Back to you, Nurse Zombie.
Thank you, Shannon and Sim, for reporting from the field. This was such a fun experience. Be sure to check out Inspirational by Design's website for more information, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode. We have some awe-inspiring guests joining next week. You won't want to miss it. Have an inspirational day.